Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Um, Servants, please go ahead and introduce you.
Okay. Okay.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You are tuned into BC Radio, Second Chances for the Forgotten Voices. And Miss Mic is on. Yes, the mic is on. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. The mic is on. Um, yeah, check, check, check. Yes. Check. Testing, testing. One, two, three. Mic check one. Mic check one, two, three. Testing, testing. One, two, three. Listeners, could you let me know if you're getting any feedback? Check, check. One, two, three. Mic check one, two, three. Good. How am I with the feedback? Is there any echo, any distorting sound, or are we good? Any comments? Okay, Miss All, good evening. Are you hearing me clearly? Good evening, each and everyone. I would just like to know how my sound is. Mic check one. Well, I think we're good to go. Okay. Uh, yeah, there's a little echo. I've tried so much to get. Guess I have to get someone to come and sort that out. No audio. I think that was going from earlier. It's distorted. Yes, I'm hearing. Why computer device two is on? Okay, that's the problem. stop audio. Desktop audio. Desktop audio. Yeah, click record anything up here. Yeah, whatever play from the desktop. Okay, we'll just have to go as it is, as time is of the essence. We apologize for the sound and we will continue to work on it. So, this afternoon, we are here with a guest, and most of you have seen we sent out an invitation why you're here this afternoon. And in Miss Nadine Evans' word, I will read the truth about, well, let me correct. I will read, and I quote, the truth about most of those that are missing. I am Nadine Evans. I am from St. Catherine, Jamaica. Now, hear this. There is organ harvesting going on. These demons from hell are taking our children, using them for blood sacrifices, and selling their organs to the highest bidder to enrich themselves. Some of the names, and anyone who wants to come with lawsuit, let them come. Andrew Holness Christopher Tufton, Horace Chang, Delroy Chuck, Nigel Clark, Juliet Holness, Dr. Natalie Whylie, Dr. adedamola seyibo, and a lot more barbaric serial killers who call themselves doctors. They are working for the government to harvest our children. Now, good evening, Miss Evans.
Hello.
Hello, just a sec, hold a sec.
Okay.
Yes, good evening, Miss Evans.
Good evening.
Um,
I'm hearing you.
I'm not hearing you. Yeah, I'm
Good
hearing you.
evening. I'm hearing you.
Okay, hold a sec.
You're hearing me now?
Yes, I'm hearing
Okay.
you. Hold a sec. I'm just wanna put you out so the audience can hear you.
Okay.
Listeners, I ask you to bear with me a sec. Um, yes, Miss Evans.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, good. I believe you are able to the public. Yes, good evening, Miss Evans.
Good evening, sir.
We want to thank you for joining us this afternoon.
You're welcome.
And you have made some serious allegations here. And
Yes, I did.
if I just read to the audience in your words what you have sent to me.
Yes, sir.
Now, I would like you to just introduce yourself. Let the audience know who you are.
I'm
I'm
Nadine
Nadine
Evans, a
a
56-year-old
56-year-old
woman
woman
from
from
St.
St.
Catherine.
Catherine.
Most of
Most
the
of the
world
world
already
already
know
know
me
me
from
from
a
a
news
news
clip
clip
that
that
was
was
on
on
Facebook,
Facebook,
on
on
social
social.
media. Most of them know um, that my daughter, when I came on the news, there were allegations about my daughter was being murdered in a hospital where doctors took out her organs. No, it's not one daughter anymore, it's two. They did the same thing to my baby also. My
My
daughter
daughter
was
was
admitted
admitted
to
to
hospital.
hospital.
The
The
doctors
doctors
claimed
claimed
that
that
she
she
had
had
renal
renal
failure.
failure.
I
I
had
had
problem with the
problem with the
diagnosis
diagnosis
and the
and
test
the test
result because
result
they
because
didn't
they
match.
didn't match.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, the
Yes, the
diagnosis and the test
diagnosis
results
and the
they did
test
not match,
results
so
did
I had
not match.
problem
So
with
I
that.
had problem with that.
One night I was
One
called to the
night I was
hospital by
called to
my
the hospital
daughter.
by my
I
daughter.
couldn't go to the
I couldn't
hospital
go
that
to the
hour, so
hospital
I
that
went
hour,
early the
so I
next
went early the
morning.
next morning.
And
And
after
after I met a
attack where her
attack
heart stopped
where
or
her
something
heart
like
stopped
that,
or
and the
something
doctor
like
then
that, and the
revived her
doctor then
back.
revived her
My
back.
daughter could
My
barely
daughter
talk
could
to tell
barely
me that
talk to
the
tell me that
doctors
the
took out
doctors
her
took out
kidneys.
her kidneys.
So after my daughter
So after
died,
my
they
daughter
asked me to
died,
sign
they
for a
asked me to sign for a
post-mortem. I said
post-mortem.
no.
I said no.
Based on what she
Based
told
on
me,
what she
I am
told
not
me,
going to
I am
sign
not going to sign
because you
because
already
you
did
already
what you
did
want me to
what you
sign
want
for,
me
and
to
I'm not
sign
going to
for,
do
and I'm
it.
not going to do it.
And I have to take
And I
these
have to take
people
these
to
people to
court
court
to get the
to
body
get the
of my
body of my
daughters, which
daughters,
took
which took
7 months and two
7 months
weeks
and 2 weeks
to get the body
to
of
get the
my
body of
daughter.
my daughter.
Dr. Jefferson
Dr.
Ford
Jefferson
was my
Ford was my
independent
independent
observer.
observer.
He gave me
He
a
gave me
different
a
report
different
from what
report
the
from what the
forensic gave me.
forensic gave me.
Went to the coroner's
Went to the
court, the
coroner's
coroner's
court, the
turned down the
coroner's turned
inquest.
down the inquest.
My daughter, skin, eyes, uh,
Uh,
all her
all
parts were
her
gone.
parts were
Everything was
gone.
gone from my
Everything was
daughters.
gone from
All I
my
get back was
daughters.
a
All I get
frame.
back was a frame.
A frame.
A frame.
My second
My
daughter
second
had
daughter
braces in
had
her mouth,
braces
put
in her
braces
mouth,
in her mouth,
braces in her mouth,
and she
and
went to
she went
the
to
independent
the
observer,
independent
Dr.
observer,
Ford.
Dr. Ford,
And Dr.
and
Ford
Dr. Ford
gave her
gave her
medications and she
medications
landed in
and she landed in
KPH.
KPH.
Dr. Whylie
Dr.
and
Whylie
company
and company
tortured that poor
tortured
little
that poor little
19-year-old girl,
19-year-old girl,
tortured her. She
tortured
had
her.
burned
She had
from
burned
her head
from
to
her
her
head to
toes.
her toes.
I have
I
pictures of
have
surgical
pictures of
marks where they
surgical
cut
marks
her
where they
to take
cut
her
her to
organs.
take her organs.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay. I'm getting a horrible feedback. Just bear with me a second.
Okay.
Okay. Check, check. Turn out the camera mic on if you're voting, I don't need the camera mic on. I'm not leaving the mic on. The mic is through the. That's why I'm getting feedback. I don't need the camera mic on. I already did that. I don't need the camera mic on. Check, check, check. Let me check 1, 2, 3. Check and let me know how my sound now. Okay, that's a delay, so it's gonna take a while for you to hear that. Okay. Let's start back again, Miss Evans.
Yes.
You're hearing me clearly, right?
Yes, sir. I'm hearing you clearly. Yes, sir. I'm hearing you clearly.
And I'm hearing you clearly. Let's hope. I'm not really getting that distorted noise in the headset as before, so let's hope listeners are getting the same as what I'm hearing. Now, you go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Nadine Evans.
My name is Nadine Evans,
a 56-year-old woman from St.
year-old
Catherine.
woman from St. Catherine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Most people already know
most
me
people
from a
already know
news
me
clip.
from a news clip.
Pardon me?
Pardon me? Continue.
Yes, most people already
Yes,
know
most
me from
people
a
already
news
know
clip
me
where I
from a news
came
clip
on
where I
social
came
media
on social media
and claiming that my
and claiming
daughter
that my
was
daughter
murdered by
was
doctors in
murdered
the
by
hospital,
doctors in the
which
hospital,
I have full
which
proof,
I have full proof,
medical records and
medical
everything.
records and
Yes,
everything.
full proof.
Yes, full proof.
My daughter was
My
murdered in
daughter was
hospital,
murdered in
and
hospital,
it took 7
and it
months
took
for
7 months
me to
for
get the
me to
body
get the
from
body from
doctors for
doctors
burial.
for burial.
A long court
A
battle for
long court
7
battle for
months
7 months
before I could get the
before
body.
I could get the body.
All
right, Miss Evans.
They claimed that
They
my
claimed
daughter
that
has.
my daughter has.
Pardon me?
Pardon me? Bear
Yes,
with me.
sir.
Yes, sir. Bear with me. I'm gonna give you an opportunity to speak on your side, so
Yes.
yes, the audience, excuse me, the listeners can hear your truth. However,
Okay.
okay, you've put out something from which was your word, and I just want to ask you a few
Okay.
questions. Okay. In regards, because you
Yeah.
have also mentioned some high hierarchies names, and I just want to ask
Yes.
you a few questions just to bring
Yes, sir.
clarity to
Okay.
those allegations.
Yes, sir.
Now,
Yes, sir.
the first question would be Miss Evans.
Yes.
Yes. Are you listening to the radio? Are you listening to it on you? Are you listening to us on YouTube, Miss Evans?
No, sir.
No,
I'm on the
sir.
phone.
I'm on the phone.
And I'm sitting at a table by
And I'm sitting
myself.
at a
I'm not
table by
listening on
myself.
YouTube.
I'm not listening on YouTube.
I know that we
Yes.
gather
No.
I know
feedback.
that we
So
gather
Yes.
feedback.
You're gonna
So,
hear it's crickets. I guess she's in St. Catherine, and of course she's in the wood. Huh? Or the can you the cricket outside?
oh, the sound.
oh, the
Yes.
Okay, let me
sound.
turn the door.
Okay, let me
Let
turn
me
the
turn
door.
the door.
Let me
Yes.
turn the
Somebody
door.
turned the door or the window. That's what they were saying.
Okay, I turned the door.
Okay, I turn the door.
Okay, I turned the
It's
door.
sound much.
Okay, I turn the door.
Sound much quieter in your background now.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, Miss Evans. So
Yes.
Yes.
okay, the door is now closed now. Just for the audience them that listening, because it's important. You want your voice to be heard and your truth to be heard, and we're gonna give you the
Yes.
opportunity
Yes.
um to express yourself. I'm gonna ask you once again to introduce yourself to the audience and the listeners.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Go ahead.
My name is Nadine
My
Evans,
name is Nadine
a
Evans,
56-year-old
a
woman from St.
56-year-old woman
Catherine.
from St. Catherine.
Most of you already know
Most
me
of
from
you
social
already know me
media,
from
where
social
I made
media, where
allegation
I
that
made
my daughter
allegation that
was
my
murdered in
daughter was murdered
hospital
in
by
hospital
doctors.
by doctors.
Yes.
Yes.
And I'm here to
And I'm
tell
here to tell
the world know what
the
really
world
happened.
know what really happened.
Okay. Now
Yes.
you have made mentions. As said before, I'm going to give you the opportunity to speak your truth, but you have
Yes.
sent us
Yes.
something that to put out, and you have made mention to
Yes.
some
Yes.
hierarchy names, and I just want to ask you a few questions to clear up what we have put out.
Yes. 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 Yes.
What specific incident or evidence led to believe that organ harvesting and blood sacrifice are occurring in Jamaica?
Okay. Okay.
My daughter,
My
my
daughter,
first
my
daughter,
first
they
daughter,
told me she had
they
renal
told me she
failure.
had renal failure.
My daughter told me
My
that they
daughter
took her
told me that they
kidneys.
took her kidneys.
When she died
When she
and we did
died
the
and
autopsy,
we did the autopsy,
I get I had an
I get
independent
I
observer
had an
which was Dr.
independent
Ford.
observer which
I
was
got a
Dr.
different
Ford.
report
I
from
got a
Dr.
different
Ford
report from
from what
Dr.
I
Ford
got from the
from what
forensic
I got from the
evidence.
forensic
There
evidence.
were no eyes.
There
My
were
daughter
no
had no
eyes.
eyes.
My
She
daughter
had
had
no
no
skin.
eyes.
She had no
She had
skin.
no
She had
internal
no
internal
organs.
organs.
They were gone.
They were gone.
He claimed,
He
my
claimed,
independent observer
my
claimed that
independent observer
they
claimed that
rotten. They were
they
rotten.
rotten. They were rotten.
But they were gone. The forensic said all organs were intact. That's the government forensic. My first daughter body was hidden for 7 months. But the second daughter, I made sure it wasn't hidden. So I had all the proof. I have proof. None of them had lupus. None of them had renal failure. And I have all the proof of the pictures, surgical marks, cut in the chest, cut downwards, cut in the back, a long cut on the leg, arm, and a cut across the face.
My daughter, if they claim my daughter had lupus, where did she get those surgical marks? I took my daughter to Jones Funeral Home, and I had an agreement with Jones for a post-mortem, and we get in touch with Quest Lab overseas. Quest Lab sent them phone numbers to call them to order the containers that they needed so they could send up the specimen to them. The following day when I went to pay the money and went back to the funeral home, the body was embalmed. Michael Jones embalmed the body so there could the post-mortem could not be done. Quest Lab could not receive anything because everything was already destroyed. When we did a little investigation, we found out that in 2013, the JLP had supported a call of legislation to harvest human organs in Jamaica. The same nephrologists that the JLP asked to put plans in place in the hospital for the government to facilitate their work to get the organs is the same nephrologist who killed my daughters, Dr. Adedamola Seyibo, Dr. Natalie Whylie. So Andrew Holness, I wrote to the Ministry of Health, I have the documents here, who turned down the who closed the investigation after Dr. Ryan Brooks' letter to University Hospital said, please continue care of Cheyenne Taylor, 19-year-old with systemic lupus erythematosus. She was diagnosed in February 2020 after a year history of fever. And when the Ministry of Health sent for the report at Kingston Public Hospital on the 20th of June, this was on the 1st of May, Dr. Ryan Brooks' letter, 1st of May 2020, and on the 20th of June 2020, Dr. Whylie's letter to the Ministry of Health says a provisional diagnosis of systemic lupus. So my daughter did not have lupus. And if lupus didn't damage those organs, what did? And where are the organs? Because I have the proof of all the surgical marks. How did she get them? And why? Hello? Yes. Dr. Jefferson Ford. Dr. Jefferson Ford. He was my independent observer. Yes. So my second daughter, when she put the braces in her mouth and she had the allergic reaction, she went to Dr. Ford, and Dr. Ford gave her some medication for the allergy. After she took those medications, she ended up at KPH. I took her to a private doctor first. When I took her to the private doctor first, a private doctor that she always goes to, he give me a referral to take her to KPH. His referral state that a young female with no known chronic illness. And I went to KPH with that referral. I have that as well. When I went to KPH, they admitted her as a young female with no known chronic illness. No, he gave her a medication, and the medication start to bring a whole lot of things around her. By the time she reached KPH, that was a few days after taking the medication. There were fluid around her heart, fluid in her belly, in her feet. A lot of things started happening. So she had lymph nodes. She had lymph nodes under her arm, and right under her chin. Yes. And she had some sores coming up in her mouth. And we didn't know it was the braces until we took her there. He told us that it was the braces, and he advised that she take out the braces. So he gave her some medication for the allergies. Yes, the reaction. So he said that the foreign thing that the body recognized, that was the metal or nickel or whatever that made up the braces. He said it's a foreign body that that it recognized. That's why the lymph nodes came up. So he gave medication. Jefferson Ford, yes. Yes, sir. The same Jefferson Ford. Yes, sir. Yes. And the medication that he gave her, we had to take her to a private doctor a couple of days after. And then the private doctor gave me a referral to KPH. And when I took her to KPH and they admitted her as a young female with no known chronic illness, then a couple of days after, my daughter told me that her belly still has the fluid. There's still fluid around the heart because they put her in an isolated ward where I could not see her. I could not visit her. They isolated her. She was 19 years old, was 19 years old. And when she told me what was happening to her, I called Dr. Whylie one night and I told her that my daughter was telling me that the fluid is still in her belly and her belly feel like it is going to burst. And the second daughter, that's, you asked me about Jefferson Ford. Jefferson Ford didn't deal with the first daughter, he deal with the second one. Then when I called Dr. Whylie and tell her, Dr. Whylie assured me that she will send a doctor to relieve her of her discomfort. I was on the phone all night with my daughter, video, talking with her. Nobody came. Yet in the morning when I went to KPH, Dr. Riley was showing me in the docket, assuring me that my daughter is relieved of her discomfort, and she sent the doctor over last night to relieve her and whatever and whatever. So I asked that they signed out my daughter, and I took her to Spanish Town Hospital, and the torture continues. They claim that they could not remove the fluid from her, so they took her. So they asked my permission to take her back to KPH or to University Hospital. Anyway, they sent her to University Hospital with a letter claiming that their colleague, please continue the care of Cheyenne Taylor, a 19-year-old with systemic erythematosus. And they claim that she was diagnosed at KPH on February 2020 after a year and a half history of internet fever. and Dr. Whylie's letter to the ministry, where it is, to the Ministry of Health. Oh, where does it? Oh, let me see if I can find it. Oh, here it is. Dr. Whylie's letter to the Ministry of Health as a provisional diagnosis of systemic lupus erythematosus. Spanish Town Hospital did a lupus test for themselves, which was negative. 3 tests was done and it was negative. And I have the results right here. Yet Chang Taylor died from systemic lupus erythematosus and multiple organ damage.
That's what the top says.
Yes, sir. No autopsy was done. That's what the doctor said. No autopsy was done on Chang Taylor because I requested one when I took her to the funeral home. And I had an agreement with Jones, a written agreement with Jones for a post-mortem. But he went ahead and embalmed the body.
What's the name of the doctor that was seeing Chang Taylor? You said her name was?
Dr. Natalie Whylie, Dr. Ryan Brooks, and I think Dr. Trevor McGrave, Dr. Seyibo, Dr. Toller Reed, Dr. Hastin. Oh, Lord. I had a paper with all the names, but I'm not seeing it. Dr. Toller Reed, let me see if I can remember anymore. Dr. Henderson, Dr. Brown, Dr. Peart. Oh. I can't remember anymore from my head. Yes, these are the doctors that saw Chang Taylor.
While your daughter was being seen by all these doctors, this was at public hospital, Kingston Public Hospital, or Spanish Town Hospital? Which hospital this was?
Public hospital, Spanish Town Hospital. I took her to public hospital. Then when I realized what they were doing to her, I took her to Spanish Town. Then Spanish Town take her to University Hospital. And that's where the real torture began, because she was burned from head to toe with an ointment named Dermovate. And I don't know what they put under her skin, because they took a piece of her skin and said that, first they told me that she has lupus, and they have to take a piece of her skin to see how to treat her, because it seems she's allergic to everything. And then I saw them rubbing her with that ointment, and what else I don't know, they were using another one. And when I went back the following day, she looked like when you throw hot water on somebody. The bubbles that were on her, all over her body, when you throw hot water and burn up somebody. So I took her from University Hospital in a taxi to Andrews Memorial Hospital, and I admitted her there. While she was at Andrews, the doctor called me and told me that they couldn't keep her because she needed intensive care for the burns. And they don't have an intensive care unit, so they have to take her back to UE or to KPH. So I told them to take her down to KPH. And then they put her in an ICU where I could not see her. When I finally saw her, it wasn't the same day she was going to die. She died the night.
They put her in an isolated ICU where I couldn't see her. When I went there, they told me that I cannot see her because she's sedated. When I called Jones for the body, after she died and I called Jones for the body, I made sure we barged into the morgue and took pictures and video before the body left the morgue. And there were surgical marks all over my child, straight down in her chest, across her belly, in her back, turn over the back. There were 4 cuts in the back, a long cut on her leg, come straight up, and on her arm there were multiple cuts on her arm.
Miss Evans, this is very heart-wrenching.
Nobody can tell me how the surgical marks come about, why she got them. If she had lupus, and she was dying from lupus, and lupus burn her up, them say it's lupus rash, is the lupus burn her up, all kind of things they tell me, but I don't understand why the surgical marks, why did she get them? And we couldn't do the post-mortem, we couldn't send the specimens to Quest Lab overseas because they know we would have gotten the right report. So a post-mortem could not be done at Cheyenne Taylor. One was done on Carol White.
Carol White was your first
And
daughter?
Yeah, was the first daughter.
Just a sec, Miss Evans. You have gone through some very heart-wrenching, heartbreaking, not one belly pain, but 2 belly pain. And
19th of this month is 6 years. Carol died.
our hearts and condolence here at OBC Radio goes out to
I
you.
don't know what sleep looks like because I know all along I believe that this man had done something to damage my daughter's kidneys.
Miss Evans,
That was my view.
let me ask you, while
That was my theory.
while all these things was going on, process was going on with your daughter, did you reach back out to Dr. Jeffet Ford?
Yes. To all of them, to the minister, to everybody. I wrote them letters. I wrote everybody.
What was the response from Jeffet Ford, Dr. Jeffet Ford?
He didn't really give me a response more than he told me that he will have a report for me ready. He said he sent the report to Jamaicans for Justice.
Did you ever get a report from the Minister of Health or Andrew Holness or anybody else that you have written letters to?
The Minister of Health, no, the Minister of Health just closed the case. With all the evidence, they closed the case, and with all the evidence, the coroners turned down the inquest. I even told the coroners in his courtroom that he should shut up, and I told him a lot of things that day. Because if my lawyer came to court without the evidence, he heard of its existence. I went to the prosecutor with the evidence, Paula Llewellyn. She said I must sue the hospital for misdiagnosed. But no charge should come to the doctors at this time.
Paula Lewin said you should sue the hospital for misdiagnosis. Yet still they did.
I have it in writing. I have it in. She gave me in writing.
And you have all those documents, Miss Evans?
Yes, sir. Yes, she gave me in writing. The Minister of Justice, the Minister of National Security, the Prime Minister, if the Children Advocate, Jamaica Council of Churches, I wrote them. Nobody pay me any mind. Nobody.
Are there any medical professional, forensic expert, or other credible individual who can provide insight or evidence related to organs harvesting or illegal activities?
Yes. Medical Council of Jamaica.
Who?
The medical. I have a letter from the Medical Council of Jamaica on my first daughter, and I gave the Professor Howard Spencer, the medical records for the second daughter, and asked him to resign before he could give me a report. I have a report on the first daughter, where Professor Spencer stated that I'm University Hospital of the West Indies need to give me answers as to how my daughter died. And is reading the post-mortem report. Let me see if we can find it. Stated that the forensic was in keeping with the diagnostic of systemic lupus. But when he saw the results of lupus and etc., he realized that. Let me see if we can find it. Is by reading of the post-mortem. Oh Lord. He realized, so he said, I need frank discussion with the, he called her, let me see if I find it. He called her management. Yes. My reading of the post-mortem, management was in keeping with the diagnosis of systemic lupus. I want to tell you exactly what it says. But I need frank discussion after he read the results. He said I need frank discussion with management. That would be Miss Natasha Richard from Forensic Lab. So that discussion was to come about in the coroner's court, but the judge turned down the inquest, so I didn't get a chance for that to happen. But yes, Medical Council of Jamaica can indicate that my daughters died as a result of misdiagnosed. And reason why, because they wanted to harvest them.
Oh, you have spoken about your second daughter. Could we go back to your first daughter and what transpired, what took place?
My first daughter was admitted to University Hospital on the 21st of November 2017. They claim she had renal failure and that she has to get dialysis.
Okay, hold a sec. Before you go into what they say or what they claim, what was the reason for you to take your daughter into the hospital and how old was that daughter?
She was 31 years old and she had a baby. Yes.
Okay.
31 years old. She had a baby. After she had the baby, she had fever after she had the baby and went home. She had a fever, so she went back in the hospital. They have her in the hospital for quite a while, and they asked me to pay for some tests for her to do. So I went and paid for the tests, and she did the tests. I went and collected those results. So I have those results and I took copies to them. I just gave them a copy because I keep the results.
What was the results, if you would mind, ask?
The result was an ultrasound, liver, intra and extra epic bile duct, gallbladder, pancreas, spleen, abdominal, aorta, IVC, and both kidneys appeared normal. The right kidney measure 11.8 centimeter, the left kidney 11.9 centimeter. There is a blood test also, and there is a, what's this, CT scan preliminary report, clinical details, known SLE present with first-time seizure, investigation CT brain. Non-crash study was done, but this XAL image were obtained from skull based on vertex, and the impression was there is no evidence of an acute intracranial event. Note, however, if there is clinical suspicion of lupus, a MRI would be more sensitive. And the doctor's report said the lupus comments need to be ruled out.
And this was the result when you first take your daughter to the hospital when she was admitted.
Yes. Yet, Dr. Seyibo's note, strangely,
Just a sec.
patient is known to have.
Just a sec. Who was the doctor that gave you that result, that signed up to that result?
Let me see if I can make out the signature.
Sometimes the name
I can't make out the signature. He signed at the bottom. He signed at the back, but I can't make out the signature.
The name is not printed before the signature?
No, it's just signed at the back. Something like KWN. I'm not
What
sure.
hospital this was?
She did these tests at University Hospital. And she did the ultrasound at outside, which is Clock Tower. It's a diagnostic center in Clock Tower.
May I ask you what was the reason? Because I noticed you mentioned the weight of the kidney. What was the reason for them to be testing the kidney?
I don't know. They were running tests because she had the fever. She went back in with the fever. So I told them if they can't find out what is causing the fever, then I have to take a specialist in the hospital to look after her. So I went to get a private doctor. When I paid the private doctor to go look after her, they told me that it's not allowed. No private doctor can come in there to see her.
Who was the private doctor?
They have specialists there. So that was Kingston Public Hospital, Victoria Jubilee. Remember I told you she had a baby. Then when the private doctor couldn't go, their specialist came. And when their specialist came the evening when I went, the specialist sent her home because the specialist said, we're not treating this lady for what she don't have. There is nothing wrong with the woman, send her home. And my daughter went home. However, she continued follow up.
When she went home, when they sent home, when they sent home your daughter, she was feeling better?
Yes, she was fine. She was fine. And her follow-up appointment.
How long she spent in the hospital?
About a month.
And they sent her home saying they're treating her for things she don't have, and she was feeling much better.
That's what the specialist said. We're not treating her for what she don't have.
Okay.
And then when she went home, the fever was gone, everything was gone. But her follow-up appointment, and because of the way she was treated at KPH, she said she's going to change her clinic to University Hospital, to UE. So her follow-up the doctor that I got to see her in the hospital, she went to his office one day and he told her that her blood pressure is high. So he gave her some medication to bring down the pressure that's in his office.
This is at the university.
Then the following day, her feet. No, that's this is Fairhaven Medical Center on Lady Musgrave Road.
Okay.
That's where she went first before she went to UE. And Dr. Gibbs advised her to go to UE. So that's when she went to UE, because Dr. Gibbs claimed that the pressure that went up affected her kidneys. So she had to go to UE. That's the kidneys that so when she went to UE now, and they claimed that they did an ultrasound, her right kidney measured 10.8 and her left kidney measured 11.6. That's a different thing from the measurement that she did in clock tower. So they said her kidneys failed.
Another doctor with
And
interest
they
in the
admitted
kidneys,
her.
even though the specialist said they were treating
her for what she don't have. And you can, I have a signature here of a doctor that said the lupus comments needed to be ruled out. And the brain CT scan didn't pick up. It said there were no foul parenchymal lesion was identified. I don't know if that's the right pronunciation, but that's what it says.
So when you went to the other doctor, when she went to the other
disease.
Dr. Gibbs, and Dr. Gibbs did a test and came back with result about the kidney.
The pressure, he said the pressure was high, her blood pressure was high.
Oh, and he then sent her to UE.
Her feet started to swell with the blood pressure medication that he gave her to bring down the pressure according to him. So she went back to him because the feet started to swell with the medication that he gave her. So he sent her to UE, claiming that her kidney failed. So she had to go to UE to get treatment for the kidneys because it failed. And when she went to UE now, yes, they told me she had renal failure. She was admitted to UE.
And for the listeners who don't understand certain medical terminologies, when you are on blood pressure medication, it can give you symptoms of swollen feet. Also,
but she have no, okay.
With when you have kidney problem, it can give you a symptom of swelling feet. But however, you have specialists that ruled out it wasn't kidney or any lupus.
Yes.
So the medication that the medication that Dr. Gibbs prescribed for high blood pressure indeed caused the swelling in your daughter's feet.
Okay.
However, he sent you to university and said it was kidney failure.
Yes. And the forensic report says a 31-year-old woman with a history of systemic lupus erythematosus was 5 months postpartum
Hold a sec.
Hold a sec.
We're jumping the gun. Before you give us the forensic report. While your daughter is at the university hospital.
Yeah.
Take us through what happened.
When she went to university hospital, they asked me, They said she must do a kidney biopsy. They gave me 2 papers. They gave her 2 papers, but she gave me one. They said I should pay the lab $24,000, and one was to buy a needle. I didn't know anything about the needle, but I paid the lab. When I paid the lab and went back, they asked me for the needle. So I said, I started to call diagnostic center now, asking for the needle because I don't know anything and I don't know where to find it. So when I called one of them, they told me that they do the test, but they don't sell the needle, and they do the test for $15,000. So I said, Yui, test is for $24,000 plus a needle. They claim a needle is for $13,000 or something like that. Well, I'm gonna take her to do the test, and we had a quarrel over the test. So they claim that when after the disagreement, it was too late for her to do the test. So the test was not done. That was, I think, was 4 or 5 days, 9 days after admission. So a kidney biopsy was not done.
And what transpired after?
And she was there, so they said they are treating her for lupus, and that they are giving her dialysis.
Hold a sec. She's now at the university being treated for lupus, even though a specialist signed off that it wasn't lupus.
Yes, that she don't have any lupus, and all her test results of lupus, even the one from Quest Lab overseas, is negative.
So let me ask you, Miss Evans, didn't you question the doctors at the university the fact that they were treating her again for lupus when a specialist signed off on it that it wasn't lupus?
I didn't know. I had no medical knowledge. I had no medical knowledge. I didn't know.
So you didn't receive these medical documents at the time.
No.
When did you receive these medical documents? Because it seems to be
After she died, I applied for them. Like test results, we would have kept test results. After she died, I applied for the medical records. And I sent it to some place. My sister sent it to some place, and then I sent it to the medical council. And the result we got back, and a private doctor who used to look after them when they were babies, I won't mention his name. When I took him to him, he told me that somebody had dropped the ball. That my daughter wasn't having any renal failure, and she doesn't have lupus. Even Dr. Ford told me that my daughter does not have lupus.
You're speaking about the first daughter.
Yes.
Okay.
But I didn't know. I would know because I had no medical knowledge. I have no medical
knowledge, and you wasn't getting the report. And for those we understand that you wouldn't get the reason you get these reports because you had file report.
For the document, yes, for the medical records.
To lead us up to the time of while your daughter was in the university hospital. What hospital did she die?
University hospital.
They lead us up to the time before her death, like weeks before her death, or maybe a month before her death, up to the time of her death.
A week before her death. She was like she could talk. She couldn't walk from 3 days after she went in there. She couldn't walk. I don't know why she couldn't walk.
How long she was in the university hospital?
About 6 weeks. But what prompted me now is when I went there and she told me that they took out her kidneys. She could barely talk. But she managed to call me on the phone that night, 3 o'clock in the morning. And when I went there at about 6:30 in the morning, I reached there early that morning. And when I reached, and she collapsed in my hand, and they rush with a machine and they put it on her chest, and they got her back, they push her up to the dialysis. That's when we could go in. But first, when they were giving her dialysis, we were not allowed in the room because no germs can come in the room. And that morning, we was allowed in the room to see her getting dialysis. Anyway, when they push her up there, when they push her up there, and they gave her the dialysis, her whole body turned purple. Her entire body turned purple. And she could.
So you witnessed your daughter getting dialysis treatment.
And her body turned purple after I witnessed. Her whole body, even her foot bottom, purple.
I'm gonna ask you a question, Miss Evans. And it may sound stupid. How do you know that it was dialysis treatment they were giving her? What make you believe it was dialysis treatment?
They told me it was dialysis. I don't know anything about dialysis.
Okay.
Or anything they told me.
Could you walk me through?
But I know she turned purple.
Could you walk us through the day when you witnessed her getting dialysis? What happened that day? I want you to visualize, memorize that day. Everything that you witnessed, what machine, what it looked like, because I've lived with someone that was getting dialysis, and I know what the machine and stuff look like. So I just wanted you to walk me through, because I'm a bit appalled as to why she would be getting dialysis treatment if she was already at the public hospital for the mistaken diagnosis of lupus and kidney problem. The specialist did an examination and passed it off that they were treating her for the wrong thing. She went to she went to Dr. Gibbs. Dr. Gibbs referred to the University of the West Indies. Now she's in the University of the West Indies for weeks. And she's now again being treated and diagnosed for lupus and kidney problems.
And read it and feel it.
When kidney failure and as you said, one time they have you witness the dialysis treatment. I'm gonna ask you to walk us through
one time.
That
was the morning when she called me. And when she called me, she told me that when we went up to the room where they have her, there was blood coming through a big thing, a big tube like. That's all I can remember about that machine. I can't remember what it looked like because I was in tears and holding on to her hand. I can't remember what the machine looked like, honestly. But I know there were blood coming through a tube, and my daughter was turned purple. And then she told me that the doctors had taken her kidneys and switched. And I called the doctor to let the doctor know that she's hallucinating.
Well, from what you're describing, I asked that because I want it based on what you have said a lot, and uh, the trust with the medical doctors are long gone. So I asked that question. But based on how you describe it, seems like she was indeed on a dialysis machine because it does wash the blood. What I find appalling is you said she turned purple. If it is that if she turned purple while being on dialysis, and if anybody else have ever experienced uh, anyone getting dialysis, you can correct me if I'm wrong. From what I have experienced and know, and who knows, maybe this is why the Lord have brought me through that phase for this purpose. From what I know, when you're getting dialysis, if you're getting if you're being put on dialysis and your body becomes purple, that means to say it's rejecting it and nothing is wrong with what they are doing, which would go back to what the specialists have said. Nothing is wrong with your kidney, so they shouldn't be using looking for kidney failure. Again, our heart goes out to you, Miss Evans, and condolences. I can't imagine when one true child we sit here and we listen to the cry of a mother. When a child lose a mother, a child lose both parents, that child becomes an orphan.
I didn't know that, but I didn't have anybody to tell me that.
When a husband or a wife lose either party, one becomes a widow or a widower. However, when a mother lost a child, it's so deep, hard to mention, and it's just ironic. There's no name to put it with. No, I want to add to my personal knowing with Dr. Ford. And yesterday, when I spoke with Miss Evans, she did not mention Dr. Ford name to me. If you notice, whatever I've sent out to advertise for today's episode, Dr. Ford's name is not mentioned on it. And that's exactly how she has spoken. When we spoke on the phone, it was I who mentioned Dr. Ford because she was speaking of other evil doctors. And I know of one very evil doctor. So I mentioned to her the name of Dr. Ford, who I know personally as an evil doctor, and she said to me, "Oh my God, that's
He
who."
was my independent.
I went to, he was my independent doctor for my second child.
And he also sent my second child to die. That's what I told you.
I want to point out, Miss Evans, to you and to the listeners. It is very keen note when Dr. Ford told you that you would have to remove the braces from your daughter's mouth. Red flag, red flag, red flag. Let me tell you why. The intention to remove organs and do what they are doing would have to go under deep surgical procedure. And whenever you are going to perform any surgical procedure, they always ask you if you have any metal in your body.
Oh God.
So this is why he removed the bodyguard, as I would put it, to continue what they are doing. Now,
Jesus, Jesus, Jesus.
few years ago, let me just dissect what's going on here and from what we have heard, while we continue to listen to the weeping mother cry for not one, but two of her children that was taken away by a medical provider. And she's not yet finished. We're just allowing her to weep. She take her moment. Now, few years ago, we have all seen the bodies in Jamaica, not just Jamaica, in the surrounding. But we're talking about Jamaica right now. Remember, a few years ago, there was multiple bodies that was being located with no organs. People that was murdered and there was no organs. The bodies were just left all around the island. So when we hear of organs harvesting, can we deny the fact and say, oh no, it's a lie or it's a conspiracy? No, because we have seen the multiple bodies around without organs. So those organs has been used for something. Now, when it comes to Dr. Ford, between 2003, no, 2005, when I went to Germany in 2004. So it's between 2003 and 2004. I just came back from the Cayman Islands. And I was living at Cargill Avenue. At this time, I was an actor with Holness. Everybody knows Holness. Older folks, 70s, 80s, and maybe 90s, early 90s, know Holness from the first Obia wedding, Faye. God rest her soul. I was in Holness production. And there was a theater right there. Dr. Ford has a little tire shop on, what's the name of that road? Is that Halfway Tree Road?
Halfway Tree Road, yes.
Road that travel from Crossroad up to Clock Tower
Halfway
Plaza.
Tree Road. It's Halfway Tree Road. It's
Okay.
Halfway Tree Road.
I've left Jamaica 15 years now, so I'm just trying to memorize. So right at that corner, and I believe, I don't remember that road beside at that corner, but I know Caesars. I don't know if it's still there, but the Go-Go Club used to be there near Caesars. But the other block is Cargill Avenue. Where Green Gables, everybody knows Green Gables Theatre. I used to control 6 Cargill Avenue. And Faye had introduced me to, I've always called her Faye. Ruth Samuels have introduced me to Dr. Ford, who said that he had reached out to her and wanted to give me a job. He had that little office, and of course, I knew he was a doctor, a medical doctor. And I went in and did an interview with Dr. Ford. And I remember, young boy, young little boy. I remember he gave me a desk, and well, before showed me the decks and stuff, the office that I was gonna have for myself, I was like, oh wow, young boy like me having a desk with office, my own computer, my own, that's a
Yeah.
dream. But I remember before I had was to get the job, I had was to do a physical. And I always wonder, it took me like 2 weeks to go for that job because I always wonder what that physical was about. And the doctor that I had was to go to was another doctor up by somewhere going up Barbican Road. I don't remember exactly, but a little corner of that little road there, as memory recall. But that was his twin brother, another Ford. I think that was Jeff Ford. No, he had sent me to Jeff Ford office, and the person I met somebody, and I asked somebody to drop me off, and when the person was dropping me off, when he reached the place where I was going, the guy said to me, "Oh no, you know where the hell you're going? Don't go over there." And I'm like, "Why?" And I explained to him that it's a job I'm getting, and Dr. Ford sent me to do a medical, to do a physical before I can get the job. Now, mind you, I'm doing a job in the office where I'm just because he had an agency, he has a working agency, and I was supposed to just take calls, phone calls, um, to get people. Well, when for work agency, people in Jamaica, what work agency, you go and you apply, pay the money, you get, we send you out on a job hunt, and we send you like we send 5 person to this
Ages.
place, and we know they only want a 35-year-old, and we send like a 90-year-old, a 50-year-old, just to calculate the money. So mind you, this has nothing to do with any medical, not because he's a medical doctor. I was working for him. This was in a office with, he has a place with multiple office space. It has nothing to do with any blood or any medical worker pertaining. It was working for a work agency answering phone calls. But he wanted me to go and do a physical. And when the gentleman, the time that I met this guy and he was dropping me off, and when the guy dropped me off, right, he was like, he looked, gave me that look, and he scared me into going into that place. That I happened not to went that evening and went back home. And Dr. Ford was so insist that he reached out to me like 2 weeks after and asked me what was going on, why I didn't, if I didn't go to the medical, why I didn't go to the medical, uh, go do the physical. So I gave him some excuse as into not going, but he had employed me before I went and do the physical and let me know that I have to go and do the physical. Now, 2 weeks had passed. I'm supposed to get paid every week. First week passed, second week passed, no pay. But again, because I have the opportunity of dressing up with my tie and nice shirt and going sitting down in an office location where it's just me alone and have my own computer, have my own phone. In fact, I've brought my photograph. Just like I see on the television, you put your own photograph and stuff. I enjoy doing that. So not getting the pay, I was like, okay, but after 2 weeks, I'm like, come on, what the hell? So the lion in me came out and I went, but not knowing who I was dealing with. But I went to Dr. Ford and I approached him and I said, what happened? It's been 2 weeks now and I haven't got any pay. And he said, I can't get any pay until I go and do the physical. So now I'm like, okay, 2 weeks pay, I want my money, but then this guy scared me now into going to do the physical. What the hell? But he didn't let me know why I shouldn't go over there doing anything. He just scared me into not going. So I was more paranoid from not going. But then I'm working now with Dr. Ford and 2 weeks gone and I want my pay. So he talked to me and I end up going up by the place and go do the physical. But before I went and did the physical, I had spoken to Dr. Ford that like what's the need of doing the physical? Because I mean, why is it I need to do a test? I need to do a blood test to find out if I was HIV positive. It's all coming back to me now. And all these blood tests and stuff. Why is it that I need to do all these stuff if I'm just going to be answering phone? But to be honest with you, in the back of my mind, because I know my lifestyle that I have been living secretly. I was thinking, okay, maybe you want to know if I'm HIV positive because you want a sexual relationship with me. So I'm like, okay, boom, it's a doctor, not knowing who this person is. So that's what led me to go and do the medical by his brother. But before, as I said to you, I sat him down and I talk. From what I understand, he had a tire shop outside there too. And from what I understand, because I was a lead actor with Ruth Samuels in our show, doing good. We go to Cayman Island all over to do that show. We did over 750 episodes with that production. So the guys them that was working for him now in the tire shop, and these are all young street boys that hang out in Dickinson and Halfway Tree area that work with him. These are things now I get to understand after many fallout. These guys now found out that we had spoke out to him because Nadine Willis was there. And I believe he's the godfather for Nadine Willis' child. That little girl, maybe she's a big woman or adult now. But Nadine Willis had that little girl for a white guy. For those of you who remember the name or the name may ring a bell, Nadine Willis was the stripper who became Kingsley Cooper, huge model star for Pulse International and went on Vogue International and went big as a model. So Ford was her goddaughter, Nadine's baby goddaughter. And she was there and news went out the way how I spoke out to Dr. Ford. And that was a big red flag because nobody speak to Dr. Ford. Now, I was innocent to doing it because I didn't know who he was. But nobody's going to mess with my money because what happened now, I spoke to him and he encouraged me to go and do the test. So when I went and go and did the medical exam, it wasn't as I'm picturing based on what I'm hearing now. it wasn't as how it's supposed to, because I was very outspoken and a very talkative person. So I did the medical exam. I went and did the physical. And here and behold, 3 weeks and I still don't get no pay from Dr. Ford. Oh no, we have a problem. So now I start writing articles, I start reaching out to the radio stations, I start reaching out to the media house, the Observer, the Star, the X News, everyone that I know I could reach out to. And this is when I started to know who Dr. Ford is. Because he's untouchable, or was, because based on speaking to Miss Evans last night, I get to understand that he has passed. But Dr. Ford, when I tried to went up against Dr. Ford for my money, and in fact, he told me, when I sit down and I let him know that, listen, I will tear you down. I will bring your business down. And that's how everything had went out that I spoke to Dr. Ford about. And people like, if I know who I was talking to, and they know who he's dealing with, nobody mess with my money. So I went up against him. I wrote the media house. I reached out to all the people that I knew, because of course I always hung out, as I've said, with the prime ministers, his boys, them, Patrick Bailey, all those are who I used to hang out with. So I reached out to all who I could reach out to expose Dr. Ford, and that's when I knew how big Dr. Ford was. Because he was untouchable in Jamaica. A PNP, a member of the People's National Party, and a member of Parliament who was never ever won a seat. And Dr. Ford is no, this is when I start finding out, because instead of people would do the article that I put out, they would send information out to me and say, listen, you don't want to go there. This man have, because his money is big and he have hands in everything in Jamaica. He was like a Bill Gates in Jamaica. So what I'm hearing now, I do not put it past Dr. Ford. Dr. Ford used to go and put people up in some little houses in his constituency, and when election time come and he lose, he go and take out the old people and break up the toilet, break down the house, take the roof off. That was Dr. Ford, and nobody could do nothing to him. Untouchable. And I know they are very crooked and evil. Is a lot of young boys Dr. Ford take up off the street of New Kingston and half a tree and have them working at his tire shop, mistreat them, and they go missing and nobody know about it. Now we are hearing from somebody who have experienced not one but two children that died in the hands of the medical facility. That has nothing to do with the diagnosis, and yet still the bodies were cut before it reached to the morgue. Now, I want to give you back the floor, Miss Evans, because you had spoken to me about your first daughter. You couldn't find her for 7 months.
Yes.
Explain to the listeners
When
how you couldn't find your daughter for 7 months.
no, it's not couldn't find her for 7 months. When after she died in the hospital, they hold on to the body for 7 months. They wouldn't give me the body.
Why was that? For 7 months.
They wanted me to sign for a post-mortem because they know they had cut her body, take out her organ. And she told me before she died, so I didn't sign. they
So
held
they
the
have
body
already
and
cut your daughter body and remove organs, and they wanted you to sign for a
and remove
post-mortem
her
report. It
organs.
seems as if it was a
So they,
post-mortem
yes,
that
they
was done.
were asking me to sign for a post-mortem. And I tell them that I'm not signing for something they already did. So they hold on to the body, and I have to fight them for 7 months before I could get that body. And even when the case tried the 19th of June in the Supreme Court, the judge said he needed 2 days to rule. He didn't make his ruling until the 28th of August. But one of my lawyers made a submission to the coroners, and the coroners granted an order for the post-mortem on the 10th of July. So I got her body on the 25th, and I buried her on the 29th. So I got the body before the Supreme Court ruled and buried her.
If I had met you prior to this, I would have tell you the ruling, because the fact that Dr. Ford of involvement, nothing would come out of it. Dr. Ford has done numerous, multiple crime out, like on camera. Nothing come out of it. I try to went up against young me. Try go up against Dr. Ford, Jeffet Ford, and that's why I asked you to identify the name. And you knew when I spoke about the name, you didn't say anything to me.
Yes.
Because you're speaking about evil doctor.
Yes.
And when I called the name, you said he was the one that you went to independence.
He was my independent observer.
And
We
not
trusted
just
him.
Dr. Ford, but the government, Andrew
And he said
Holness,
my daughter could die.
Christopher Tufton, Paula Lewin.
Yes, she said
You
no
mentioned
charge was
Ken
up to
Bog.
the doctors after she had seen the evidence.
You mentioned Ken Bog. Why you had mentioned Ken Bog name?
Dr. Ball, they are the one who supported the call of legislation to harvest the organs. They were the one who advised the nephrology and the urologist to put a plan together in the hospital.
This is
for the
not just
government
word
to
of mouth.
harvest the organs.
This is not just word of mouth, people, because
No,
I've seen
I have the
article and you can
evidence.
go and Google it. You can Google it for yourself,
That
because
same
she have showed you
nephrologist,
receipt where
that same
Dr. Ken Bog.
nephrologist killed my daughters.
In that very same article where Dr. Ken Bog's name is mentioned, where he is campaigning
Dr. Horace
for
Chang name is
harvesting
mentioned as well.
the African doctor. Name, what's his name? I don't remember what's his name. The name you call the African doctor.
Dr. Adedamola.
His name is involved in that article
Seyibo.
also. And I find it very ironic that that African doctor with the African name, who has so much power in Jamaica, and I've done research and realized he deals with the kidney, the lungs, and all those different organs. However, there is not much research you can find on him on the internet. What is it you have hiding? Because I've tried to find out where you were born, what's your nationality, where that name came from.
He was
Nothing.
born in Nigeria. He was born in Nigeria, and he was trained. He was trained in Turkey. My sister got a lot of information on him. I would have to get it from her in the morning because I don't remember all of it. In Turkey. Yes. Oh God, he's the butcher. He killed my daughters.
You may mention also that
they are the ones doing the harvesting.
You may mention that the infamous Kevin Smith is still alive. Could you express to us why you said that? And
yes, Kevin Smith is not dead. Kevin Smith is not dead. They know how to fool the Jamaican people. That man is not dead. When the Gina reached Kevin Smith's auntie house, when the police held him, why did they came back to the auntie's house to identify the body? Who identified Kevin's body? Who buried Kevin? Those people are liars. Kevin and them are gonna buy UC. Kevin.
so you're saying the government,
Kevin Smith,
the government using Kevin Smith
called
and having
man.
UC harvesting bodies.
That's what he was there doing. He was no mentor. That's what he was doing. He was no mentor.
So Kevin Smith used to be a mentor at the UC? The UWI?
Yes. Yes, he was. He was a mentor there.
Oh, and you're saying during his tenure of mentorship, that was just a cassage. He was there harvesting bodies. Well,
yes,
you're giving us some information that because I was not under the impression that he had any kind of know he have connection to a lot of big dignitaries in Jamaica from both the Jamaica Labour Party and the People's National Party. But I didn't know that he was a mentor at the University of the West Indies. But if indeed
I am ready
these are
for them.
factual,
I'm ready for them. Tell them come without suit.
if indeed these are factual information that Kevin Smith was indeed a mentor.
You can go on Google right now and see that he was what, the senior mentor or something like that working.
Hold on a second, Miss Evans. I'm not disputing what you're saying. I'm just talking out there now to the public. Indeed, what you're saying, what Miss Evans is saying, that Kevin Smith was indeed a member. And I'm saying this because I have no knowledge to it. I'm not saying that it's not factual. But if indeed Kevin Smith was a mentor of the University of the West Indies, we could not expect anything good to come from it because we all know what Kevin Smith was about. Now, we want to also point out another thing because Miss Evans pointed it out to me last evening. Daniel Rowe was kidnapped, and Daniel Rowe was kidnapped by a doctor. That's so, Miss Evans?
Yes, sir.
Daniel Rowe, a little girl, was kidnapped.
That doctor tried to kidnap 4 schoolgirls in the gas station at Stony Hill. And when I went and I saw the crowd, I went to investigate what was happening. When I went there, I saw a schoolgirl on the ground, and I said, She fainted. Nobody know why she fainted, and the doctor is over there. The clinic is around there. The woman picked up on the ground. Nobody to assist her. And this woman, she was all over the child. So I asked, so who is this lady? She said she's a doctor. So I said, oh. And I said, a doctor from where? And she said, a doctor from University Hospital. And I also teaches at UWI. And I said to her, so why you over the people them pick me? She said she called a taxi to take her down to UWI. And I said, for what? The clinic is around there and there are doctors over there and you are going to take her to UWI? So same time, I turned to the girl and I said, if you want those organs that is in your body, no go away with that woman here. Organ them a look. And same time, she draw one side and I created a scene up there. Bus crowd, I draw a crowd up there. And that's how she did not get to take those girls that day. And when Daniel Rowe, person of interest, went up on screen, lo and behold, it's the same lady. And I went to every police station I could go to, asking them to go to Stony Hill for the video footage. And nobody does that. Nobody does that because I know what they did to my daughter and I know what is going on at UWI.
I'm getting calls. People is very interesting to hear what you're saying, but they're still speaking about a feedback. I'm going to because what will should let the audience know we have her on video call, but if you notice, you're not seeing her on video call because she chooses after that she wouldn't want to be on video call. So maybe what I should do is try have you calling or try calling you. I'm gonna try calling you.
On WhatsApp?
Yes. Let me see. Hang up from your line. Hang up from your line.
Okay.
Listeners, I'm going to try calling her and see if I get a better sound. Yes. When I speak, you hear me differently, right? All right, let me try calling her and see. Okay, I'm calling her back now. This is very, very disturbing. And it's sad to know that the government that we put in place serve us are taking our kids and harvesting them. Hi,
No.
Miss Evans.
Yes.
You're hearing her now? Okay, so the ring sound much better. Okay. Okay, yeah, you're hit because it's delay. So you'll hear her pick up soon because I'm already speaking to her. I think this is much better now. So,
Yes.
okay, yes, it sounds much better. So, yes, Miss Evans, I want to go back to you were saying that we asked you earlier. You mentioned to me yesterday that Kevin Smith is indeed alive, and I asked you what makes you believe so, and you just brought to my attention and maybe to others because I didn't knew that Kevin was a mentor at the University Hospital, University of the West Indies
Yes,
Hospital.
he was.
Now we all know that Kevin was in the business of sacrifice and killing. We all know that Kevin Smith was very close to members of the People's National Party and of the Jamaica Labour Party. We all know that Kevin Smith is a very big entity in Jamaica. So big that's when he was being transferred to another location and the supposedly accident took place. The Minister of National Security and Justice traveled all the way from Montego Bay to the scene. What was the reason? Why it was so important for the Minister of National Security, Dr. Horace Chang, to stop everything in his power what he was doing on that day when a supposedly criminal was being transferred and an accident happened.
Oh, yes.
What
Oh,
was the
yes.
importance? Now, as I was saying earlier, because we were a bit distorted, indeed, Kevin Smith was a mentor at the University of the West Indies Hospital.
Yes, he was.
Then this is factual that these members and names that I've been calling have been a part of harvesting bodies. Now,
I know what I'm saying. I know what I'm saying. That's why I said they must come with their lawsuit. I am ready for them. I am ready for them. I know what I'm saying.
you don't put it
I
past the
would call,
government
I would
because
tell you some things, but you wouldn't believe.
Kevin Smith a very
But
big,
God
big
is in
secret for them.
control.
It's just like how they wipe the Peter King story under the carpet because of numerous parliamentarian and government officials and police officers and dancehall artists. Big, I'm not talking about small fishes. Big star. When I talk about fishes, I'm not well. We're all in one aquarium because come on now. So I don't have to differentiate fishes. We all know what we're talking about. So let's play on words. And just like, oh, that's the reason why they put Peter King tape. They wouldn't release it. But had they knew that Dr. Jermaine Gordon was gonna come out and out Andrew Holness, Nigel Clark, Patrick Bailey, Hughes, um, Jeff Ford, Jennifer Monroe, now gas, Kidney Man. I continue. I don't want the rag from the story, but just like oh y'all, why if you didn't know what you knew then you'd have released Peter King tape because social media then wasn't rampant. But nothing now is gonna be hidden. And guess what? I played a part. Now you may wonder why I called the artist them name just now. I gave them 48 hours to start speak about medic. The time has passed. But save this for tomorrow. As you know, want to speak for medic, so I'm gonna speak for you all. What is going on in Jamaica is slackness.
No.
And Nadine Evans,
Yes, sir.
a citizen of Jamaica, not one but two of her children was killed and the organs was taken away for harvesting. And nobody can answer to it. DPP Paula
In a
Lewin.
hospital.
You don't charge the doctors, but you're gonna sign off and tell Miss Evans that she should sue the hospital. For what, Miss Evans?
Misdiagnosed or whatever.
Misdiagnosed. So DPP Lewin, let me understand. Miss Evans must sue the hospital for misdiagnosed, but you didn't charge the doctor for
Let's
misdiagnosed
go
and
to the legal counsel
misleading. What is this?
for misdiagnosis. Or I wrote to her and I said,
Medical
if I were the
malpractice. How
DPP,
is it the doctor is not
if
being
I were
charged
the
for medical
DPP,
malpractice, but you are telling the lady, Miss Evans, that she must go and sue the doctor, the
the
hospital,
hospital.
for misdiagnosed. So how they not being arrested for medical malpractice? Because you're all a bunch of fake MF. You have doctors kidnapping kids. And it's not lie because one of your very own was caught. Take away Daniel Rowe. And we're hearing now that it's a high possibility that Kevin Smith is still at the university hospital doing harvesting, body harvesting. No wonder why so much of our kids are being missing. And you know what I've noticed? And correct me again if I'm wrong, because it's been 15 years. But I don't see much street kids in the street wiping cars and windows. Where are the street kids? I know for a fact that Dr. Ford used to take away a lot of street kids. News have always said how many street kids miss when they disrespect him because I was warned as a youngster, be careful who I'm going up, but because nobody can tell me nothing because no fear. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, and that's how I walk and I stand by it. So from ever since I'm a younger, who know me know who I am and what I gives. I don't accept foolishness and nobody not gonna push me over. I don't care who you are and how much money you have. But I was warned as a youngster. Be careful because I can get disappear, not knowing if I didn't speak out, then who knows? I could have gone to the other brother, Jeff Ford, and get some injection and all of a sudden my body start feel. And nobody know what happened. And it's so ironic. Like we tie it up right now. The twin brother, Jeff Ford, he is the doctor of Patrick Bailey. Oh yes. The twin brother is the doctor for Patrick Bailey. He is the doctor who signed off that Patrick Bailey can't go to court and can't deal with any answer to any ongoing questions because of his illness. And until he signs off that, nothing can happen. So let me ask, any other criminal in Jamaica could just go get a doctor to sign off that they can't answer to any questions? Since 2016, Patrick Bailey has yet to be in charge, and a murder was committed in his house. And that's the doctor, Dr. Jeff Ford. I'm not talking Japheth Ford, the one, the body snatcher. That man, they are twin. It's so ironic that the one that's alive now is the doctor for Patrick Bailey. No, Jamaican citizen, yard and abroad. You're gonna sit down and say these things are not true. There's no one to turn to. No wonder they don't care about the hospitals. Because look at the deplorable condition the hospitals are in.
It's a business place,
You
not a
all
care center.
campaigning the good that you have done. What good you have done for Jamaica and people of Jamaica. People of Jamaica. Rise up. Is there anything else you want to say to the listeners, Miss Evans?
Oh, not really. Our autopsy, the first daughter's autopsy report, the result was she died from complications of systemic lupus erythematosus (SLE) with crescentic glomerulonephritis. That was the result. And they said, the comment said a 31-year-old woman with a history of systemic lupus erythematosus was 5 months postpartum when she presented to the University Hospital of the West Indies on November 21st, 2017. She was assessed as having poorly controlled SLE with an acute chronic renal failure, likely due to lupus nephritis. So this hydrotension and arthritic flare. She was admitted and started on steroid and hemodialysis. Liver impairment and low platelets count with upper and lower gastrointestinal bleeding. Her medical record showed she was admitted on the 21st of July, and her medical record showed that a dialysis stent was put in on the 25th. They said due to her clinical state during admission, a renal biopsy was not performed before her death. And a renal biopsy was scheduled the same date of admission for the 6th of December 2017.
Listeners, you hear, I know you have not seen any document,
So the
but you hear
report
Miss
that the
Evans.
forensic
Hold a sec, Miss
gave is not
Evans.
right.
We have sit here and we hear Miss Evans read. And these stuff that she reading, it can't be made up. No,
I have
you
all
have
the,
spoke to
I
her.
have
You hear the cry in her voice. This is not a hungry black woman that just coming out against and just talking.
I have the evidence I needed. None. I have all the evidence I needed, plus
It's
what
just
we investigate.
outright pure evil. And the fact that there is no one to turn to. The media house in Jamaica is controlling Andrew Holness' pocket. The Integrity Committee is in the payroll of Andrew Holness' pocket. Yes, I said it. This
I
is
second
one
it.
big game. The PSOJ,
Oh God.
the Observer, the Gleaner, the Stars. There's nobody to turn to. What our island Jamaica has come to, and what are we as a people gonna sit down? Who are we as a people gonna run to? Excuse me, when things happen. I used to hear Wendy Williams say, talking is a hell of a thing, and give you gaps, and so I'm realizing it. Yeah, but who we turn to as a people when we face crisis? And this is why they treat us the way they are treating us. How long we're gonna sit down and allow them to do this to us? Our kids are being missing. When somebody disrespect Andrew Holness, no matter where in Jamaica that person is, once the video is posted, we can guarantee a follow-up. A few minutes later. Exaggerated on the few minutes, yes, but we all know within a day or two, that individual is fined, arrested, and forced to apologize. If you said just that the Prime Minister knows is big, but yet still, hundreds and thousands of our children go missing on a daily basis, and they're all advertised.
And nobody's arrested.
Nobody can find them. Maybe these kids, parents have to start, let them, let the, maybe parents has to start teaching the kids that if and ever they should be abducted,
Don't look at me.
they should curse out Andrew Holness and say him nose big. Because it seems it's only then those individuals will be located. is it so many hundreds of thousands of our children go missing? We can never locate, the police officers can never locate them or never locate the person who did the crime. Because many of you same police officers, your doctors going around snatching kids, kidnapping them. Now, I was raised, I spent 6 years of my childhood in the, you'd call it the state facility, children homes, and I know what goes on there. Now, back then, we used to hear about Blackheart Man. It seems like Blackheart Man becomes more popular now and them take out the name and start do harvest hunting, because back then it used to be Blackheart Man. And you hear these things used to happen, but it wasn't this rampant. Now, parents, if you have any kids that is in the children homes or in any state facility, I beseech you, whether you abandon them, whatever reason, you brought them into this world and you give them away, you couldn't afford them, whatever reason, you didn't abort them. I beseech you, turn an eye and look back. Go check up, do some research, find out where those kids and children are. Because you never know if the body has been snatched and used organs for harvesting. The highest bidder. It's a shame of what this world and our island Jamaica has adapted to. What are we as a people gonna do about it? Hear the cry. Try put it's I mean it's hard. I know many of you have lost maybe one child or a family member and know the pain. But my God, you listen to this mother, this sister, this daughter, this niece, this cousin. No one, and how many have gone through the same and have not even realized. Want people to start calling 800-944-2166 or WhatsApp or call 347-818-7604. We need to find out how many other citizens of Jamaica have gone through similar situation. How many of you have not even realized until you hear this? That, oh, damn, you know, my niece, my brother, my cousin, my daughter went in for just this, and then they said that, and all this happened. And when, if you start questioning and start thinking, please reach out to us, let we do our investigation and do our search. And we're gonna do a follow-up back on this Kevin Smith situation, because we're not gonna leave it like that. We're gonna dig deep. And we here at OBC Radio has no fear. We serve a true and living God. And no weapon, I know the weapon will form.
But it won't prosper.
Weapon will form. I'm expecting it to form.
It won't prosper.
But my God said I should stand on his promises, and I'm standing on your promises, Lord Jesus Christ of Nazareth.
Trust him no matter what.
You
His
say we
will
should
must be
trust in
done to
your
the
word
honor
that
and
no
glory of his
weapon
name.
formed against me shall prosper. You tell me that, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I must fear no
Death,
evil.
I'll fear no
We are
evil,
walking right
for
now
the
in the
Lord
shadow of
God is with me.
the valley
The
of the
rod and
shadow
his
of death.
staff comfort me.
Your rod, Jesus Christ of Nazareth, and your staff will comfort me.
Yes.
You gave us this
Thank you, Jesus.
inspiration to start this radio station.
Oh,
And when I
Lord.
seek for a slogan, second chances for the forgotten voices was given.
Yes.
We will continue to be the voice for the voiceless,
The voiceless.
the
Thank you.
inspiration for the hopeless, the strength for the weak. And we will not bitter when it comes to expose. We have no fear. We will not put it under the rug. Whether to
No,
the left,
no.
to the right, the center. Clean slate. I wish we have more journalists and more bloggers who have the interest and the heart of the human race to sit with the government, those who we elect to serve, that they will be held accountable for their wrongdoing.
Come. Yes.
Those
Amen.
national parties say time come. But for years, Japheth Ford, one of the wickedest man that ever walked the face in a Jamaica. We all know this.
Oh,
Man told him, you sit down and you run around and you hide, you keep dodging me.
God.
Me run from my interview. Goes to those who you pay and on your payroll and who will ask questions not for the people of Jamaica, but to benefit the platforms. But that won't stop us from speaking out. Andrew Holness is the same. I know a lot of you may think, oh, Dr. Jermaine God on the payroll of either or. Neither. We ask you to hold up your strength, Miss Evans.
Yes. Yes. The Lord is with me.
I can't even say, I don't know what word of comfort I can bring to you that would ever make you feel better right now. But I appreciate gratefully your courage, your strength, and the fight that you have within you. I
Yes.
encourage you continue. Fear not.
Yes.
Breaks my heart. Could not have known this from my mother, not my worst enemy.
If you hear, oh, Dr. Ford was sincere. If you hear how he was sincere, you would believe he sent my daughter to die. I didn't know he was wicked. I didn't know.
that
Because I
is for
don't
the
know doctors.
listeners
I don't know
because
anything
I
about
know.
them. It's just now I'm learning that he's wicked. I didn't know.
Touch of it.
Oh, Jesus.
I didn't know that the bastard has kicked the bucket. Wicked, evil people. And for the, well, I won't say the stupidity. I will speak to that person.
Okay.
But we will delve deeper into
Okay.
Kevin Smith. And I don't put it past this government or any government that runs Jamaica. Because the fact that this is a high possibility, and I'm not hearing it from the opposition leader either.
Yes. That's what bothers me.
That it bothers me highly.
The article, the Gleaner article in 2013 said the JLP that was in opposition supported the call of legislation and paving the way. But who made the call of legislation?
Now, you see, these are the questions voters need to ask, and that's why I'm
Yes,
asking, where is the
yes.
weekly press conference for the media house and
Who made the
people's
call
life?
of
Why are they avoiding people who will ask the questions that matters most to the people and the country of Jamaica?
vote? Yes.
Because we need to ask these people who are asking us for a vote. The People's National Party is highly likely to become the next governor. Mr. Mark Golding and those in the surrounding. What are your interests into harvesting? Will you continue? Because y'all legalize OB and all of you sit down.
Yes.
All of you sit down. With everything that's going on in Jamaica. OB,
No, I wasn't comfortable with the advertisement on the TV.
was
I wasn't
something
comfortable
of
with it.
such a
That's why
magnitude
I
that
don't watch local
our
station because
heads
of
of
it.
government
I don't watch local station because of
find
it.
it possible
I'm not comfortable with it. Not everybody is.
brought a legislation to legalize OB, and every citizen and everybody was comfortable, both the People's National Party and the Jamaica Labour Party. Every single one of you was comfortable with it. Then how you expect anything better must come from out Jamaica. Now, when you do voodoo, we all know that voodoo have to do with sacrifice. Then if them
Yes.
legalize it, now why you think they had was to legalize it? If them have to do body sacrifice, where you think the body's gonna come from? Where you believe the body's gonna come from? If it's just
Rituals
about
has to be
goat
a certain bloodline.
and chicken,
No. Human
and sit down and
sacrifice.
say these things is not going on. And we've been hearing it coming out too often. And it's so glad for social media and other platforms. Thank God for the inspiration and the ideas to bring forth OBC radio. So we can shed light on stuff like these. I see, I say all the time, the road that I've trod, the mess that I've made will only lead for testimony and message in my future. Because it's just ironic that Dr. Ford I've met. As I spoke to you last night, I sit and my life flash before me as a youngster. I wasn't the person that I am and the way how I am. Dr. Ford was recruiting me. It wasn't for no work as a little youngster and sending me to go to medical. But because I've spoken out then, because it's not just start happening.
Mighty God.
And these things happening and we don't hear the opposition leader who is running for power, a citizen, a mother, is crying out and has been crying. And nobody run to her. Nobody went to her for
For years.
comfort. Everybody just sit
For
down and just
years.
leave it on her. She must just bear this burden alone. Y'all didn't do it once, you did it twice. My God. What else you expect from a person? Evans,
Yes, sir.
thank you for bringing this
You're
to our
welcome.
attention. And
You're
we
so welcome.
appreciate that you take your time to come on our platform to give
Yes.
this opportunity to shed light on this matter. And we will continue
Yes.
expose and speak on this.
Okay. I thank you.
You're welcome. Listeners, uh, this one it touched deep. Touched deep. What are we as a people gonna do? This is OBC Radio, Second Chances for the Forgotten Voices. Remember, our app is available in the App Store and in your Play Store. Or you can ask Alexa to download OBC Radio. Stream us on the World Wide Web, obcradio.com. Follow us on all social media platforms: X, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I think I forget because I said X. Normally I used to go to Twitter and come down the line, but because I corrected myself and said Twitter. But follow us on all social media platforms. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Turn your notification on. And we'll be here every evening at 6:30. Weekdays at 6:30 p.m. Bringing you. Join us tomorrow evening here at 6:30 p.m. where we dive into the dancehall community because some of these artists who have been singing out Fire Upon Chichiman and how them no parring at Chichiman this and them gonna fire upon a this and we gonna expose some of the artists them that's in the dancehall community. Footer hype, few months ago, I hear you ask and said I should expose whether them in the dancehall, the selector, and I ask myself, are you ready for this? Because I I know you is the type of person where like cut off, cut and clear. I don't know if you're ready to stand alone. I respect your drive and your sting still. Although my lifestyle is my lifestyle, but I respect you where you stand for. Can't fight you. I know you do it. But I don't know if you're ready for this awakening. Get ready. Because Jermaine Gordon is coming. I asked the dancehall community to speak out on medic and bring medic's thing to justice. And y'all sit down and know what's going on and sit down and a play. Well, too long now. Too long, y'all sit down and play hypocrite. And I'm ready to expose y'all. So we're gonna dance in the dance hall. I'm going to spin the dance hall fraternity upside down. OBC Radio Second Chances for the Forgotten Voices. Turn the notification bell, subscribe, like, and share. Tell a friend to tell a friend. We're not begging for any money here, just like, share, and subscribe. And when you watch the video, please just watch the ads. That's all. We appreciate you, listeners. Thank you. And any one of you who have anything to talk about, we're here for you. We are the voice for the voiceless. Second chances for the forgotten voices.